Hey y'all, today is chair yoga fall prevention. That's kind of a misnomer, right? You're thinking, oh, I'm going to sit in the chair the whole time. That's not what happens. We use the chair as pieces of gear to help us with having a better ability to lessen those falls. Man, that's a weird sentence, isn't it? My name is Gail. Welcome to the class. I'm going to move this chair out of the way. I come back up to the front of the room for our energy work if we have time, that guided rest, relaxation, and that gratitude. So let me scooch that chair out of the way. I got my two chairs set up. If you don't have two chairs, you can do one chair and access to the wall. That's for the later portion of the class where we do the walking forwards and backwards, or sit to stand, and that's usually where we use the two chairs, okay? So first, I invite you, whether you're seated on the chair. Now, if you're going to sit in the class today, you scooch away from the back of the chair so you engage those tall muscles in your body, posture muscles as we call them. Try to have the shoulders over the hips aligned with the feet if you're standing. And again, nice tall posture as best you can seated in the chair. And I'm having my toes point forward the best that they can. I've got a bunion on one, so one looks like it's going out to the side, when in actuality, it probably isn't. From here, shrug the shoulders towards the ears, create tension, and then bring those shoulders back behind you, and then the other. Just kind of shake it out here. All right, we're going to feel our feet into the floor. That means pressing down and then pressing to the opposite ends of the room to have muscular contraction going on through the hips, through the thighs, through the calves, through the bottoms of the feet. You can do this class with shoes or without shoes, okay? So from here, let's bring our hands low there on the belly button and then a little bit below. And again, shrug those shoulders up and down a little bit and then relax them down. Kind of take that chin, tuck it in towards your chest. Very good. And a little soft bend in the knees if you're standing today. Don't lock those knees. Let's breathe in, belly big. You can hang on to the chair if you need to. And then exhale, belly button towards your spine. So we're expanding the belly, expanding the chest as we inhale. Here we go. And exhaling. My mouth may be moving different than what my voice is. Just kind of know that, because of the data dropout that's going on today. So again, breathe in, belly big, and exhale. One more time, breathing in, belly big, and exhaling. Beautiful. So today, we're going to do a warm-up, the strength stuff, the stretching, the lengthening, the balance, and all that. So from here, I invite you to just kind of bend those knees, shake the arms. So we're doing a little bit of lymphatic drainage first. If you're seated in the chair, lift the heels. And you can alternate the heel lifts if you like, or do them both at the same time. This lubricates the knees, the hips, gets a little action in the elbows, the shoulders, and the wrists also. So again, we kind of lubricate those major joints. We move the major muscles before we do the strength portion of our class. You also have a block and a strap close by. Now maybe you can turn side to side, add a little variety to this. Always keep it away from the ouch though. Keep it between the easy and the ouch. And you know what? Maybe bring it more towards the sky. This is called shaking gong. And again, if you want to, you can turn a little bit side to side. You're finding spicy areas, maybe do a little bit slower, a little bit less. And I mean spice, not just like little dull ache and pain, just like, ooh, it's kind of spicy. You really notice it, yeah? And then elbows down, palms up. We're stimulating that heart meridian with the hand flapping. Very good. And then from here, let's swing the arms, and we're bending those knees. So addressing the knees, the ankles, the hips, the elbows, the shoulders. If you have arms on the side of your chairs, be mindful of that. Don't be hitting those arms, okay? And then if you can, tap the shoulders or the upper back. Kind of coordinate that little bend of the knees with that tapping of the back or the front of the body, whatever you can do. It's a little bit more of the elbow bend here. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. Very good. Let's do the hand spinning, and we're still bouncing, okay? Still bouncing. So maybe if you're seated, you want to do toes up instead at this point, okay? But those of us standing, still a little bit of bounce. And reverse. Very good. Now let's interlace the hands. Be nice and tall in your chair, nice and tall on the floor. And then push the hands forward and curve your spine to the back of the chair, back of the room. Very nice. Now, with the hands still away, press skyward and really try to lengthen out of your pelvis. Stretch your spine as best you can. Very good. Again, bend the knees, press forward for that standing cat posture. Extension and flexion of the spine. Now release the hands, make fists. Place your fists on your hips or grab the back of the chair and then kind of push your upper body to where the wall meets the ceiling. Again, it's a standing back bend. Now you can also bring the chin into the chest if there's too much, articulation going on with that cervical spine for whatever issues you might have today. Very good. From here, we're going to step over to one side, so you're going to step touch, basically. You can use your chair, your wall. You can step touch seated on the chair also. If it's available, maybe you can swing the arms in the air. So this is that lateral movement that we don't normally do, but we need to do, again, for working all the angles of going forwards, backwards, side to side. We also do something later on called the 3-point stepping drill, empty step. So that also works different types of angles in using our lower body. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're going to do that Qigong detox. It's called the Big 6. I do it in the methodology of the Big 6. Let's take our hands across the collarbone and stroke across or tap. So we're trying to move the lymphatic fluids, trying to reduce the inflammation in our bodies. Again, you can stroke across. So there's a kidney meridian, there's a stomach meridian, and then there's a lung meridian when you go across your collarbone, above and below the collarbone. Let's do the other side. Here we go. You might notice excessive nasal drainage. You might notice that you need to get more water after you've done a lymphatic draining series. Then we're going to take our hands, spread them out, bring them in front and in back of the ears. So you bring it down the side of the jawline and down the side of the neck. Your fingers are also coming back here at the back of the head. When you stroke down the sides, down the jawline and the sides. So this is to get that cerebral spinal fluid that builds up to come out of your bodies at nighttime when you sleep. So it has to have an outlet to do that. Although some folks have lots of brain fog, this helps to lessen that brain fog by clearing those pathways to allow that to all to go through that subclavian vein that goes through your heart, goes through the kidneys and liver, your poo and pee, and all your sweat. So we get it out that way. All right, next, we're going to add something here. We do this in our Tai Chi class sometimes, but we're going to thump our thymus. It's about 2 or 3 inches below that collarbone area. This is for our T cell production. And if you want to bounce a little bit while you do that, you can do that too. You can do one hand, or you can kind of tap, 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 alternate it. And again, you may be noticing some sinus drainage going on here. Very good. Next is the armpits. You're kind of making that right angle and you place it into the armpits and squeeze here. So again, we're working to 6 areas. That's why it's called Big 6. Collarbone, the neck, the armpits, the stomach, the crease, and the back of the knees. I think that's 6, yeah? Okay. And do the other. Here we go. Again, we're doing these movement sequences to relax the body, to get your muscles, those joints kind of and warmed up before we do all the work. Now, here we go. We're going to find right below the rib cage. That's a diaphragm. We're going to stroke across first. Sometimes when we have kind of compromised breathing, that diaphragm's kind of like stuck up underneath those ribs. And then take your hands and get the belly. Your torso here is considered to be your second heart. That gut health is related to brain health. So work your gut. Play a little percussion. You can also do fists. You can also chop. You can also just wiggle jiggle, okay? From here, I'm going to step my feet out because we're going to get where that leg inserts to the torso, that crease, and chop that crease. So this is the area where they check cancer in those lymph nodes if you have prostate cancer, and the pectorals, the chest, and the armpits for breast cancer. So let's get rid of that waist, shall we? Feet wide, sitting on the chair too. You can move it to the hips and move it forward. Now sometimes this next one is easier to do seated on the chair, but we're going to do what we can, okay? We're going to clap our hands first and rub some heat into the palms. Bend those knees and kind of rub on top of the knees. This also addresses the stomach and the gallbladder meridians in traditional Chinese medicine. You can come up on the pads of the fingers to really stimulate those acupressure points. Let's do a little knee pain relief by tapping the sides softly. Very good. Now take those hands and stroke the back. Lessening edema, swelling in those legs in the 1 through 6. And then we'll do your footwork afterwards to make it more effective. Very good. Come back on up, clap those hands. Get some heat going on here. All right. Now I'm going to come over to one of the chairs. I'm going to hang onto the chair. If you're seated, you can just kind of have your heel be on the floor or lift the leg off the floor, and we're going to point and flex. Isolating the ankle, which helps us to have better walking ability. And I was just mentioning about the big toe. Your range of motion of your big toe also has an effect on if you're going to fall or not. And we had a little discussion also, if you have some maybe neuropathy and also, because it's in a range of motion when you do heel ball toe, when you lift off. Men generally do not take care of the feet as well as women. So, I encourage you, lotion, work the feet. I might just send you all the whole handout on that, remember the feet, because this is just, good information to know. All right, from here, make the foot still. We're going to do an ankle circle inward. So imagine there's a paintbrush at the bottom of the ball of the foot, and you're trying to draw maybe an oval, maybe a circle. So we're not doing the entire leg, okay? It's just the foot. And I always have a problem just trying to isolate the foot. So I put a hand on my leg just to remind me, okay, don't do the whole leg. And then reverse, go the other way. Notice if it feels a little different going that other direction. It might. And release. Woo! Kind of a little bit. All right, we're going to do the other side. I'm going to switch over to the other chair to do the other side. So again, we're going to point and flex. Ooh. One side feel more stiff than the other. Again, this is our chair yoga for fall prevention. And then let's draw a circle inward. If you have a yoga strap and you come to class regularly, try to have your buckle already engaged in your yoga strap. And if you're using a TheraBand, where you're going to do a shoelace tie for our strength portion of class. Now reverse, go the other way. And this one likes to move more than normal. Woo. You might be feeling a little spice in the hips if you're lifting that leg off the ground. So just kind of notice that. Yeah. And release. All right, from here, I'm going to stand behind one of the chairs. We're going to do the bone density thing here. And if you're seated, you just lift both heels. And if you have the osteopenia, osteoporosis, you may want to do this softer, but you're going to basically lift up and come down. Yeah. Maybe you're coming down softly if you have those big porosity holes in your bones. Again, this is practicing that toe lift. That's practicing that range of motion in the big toe. I was trying to think what one of our poses does have the toe be engaged, and that's this one. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Beautiful. Okay, let's assess our balance. So I'm going to show the seated version first. It's called Golden Rooster. We'll do an extra one today. It's called Monk Carries the Flag. So you're away from the back of the chair. And for Golden Rooster, you're going to have a bent elbow up and a bent knee up, heel flex, and staying there. You may have to put a hand underneath for support, depending on what's going on with your hip. Now, those of us standing, feet on the floor, bend the knees so you're rooting down. The leg closest to the chair stays bent. The other one, you're going to have come up with the flexed heel and bend that elbow. Now, can you release the chair, or does it have to be closer to the floor? Just notice what you notice. Notice what's going on this side, and release. A little bit of marching in between. And then if you only have one chair today, you're going to go over to the other side of the chair or do the other side. I always like to have the leg that's rooted into the ground next to the chair. So feet on the floor. I'm kind of turned at a little angle here. Bend both knees. You know what? Take your booty, tuck it under. Forgot that part, okay? And bend the elbow up. Bend the other knee up. Flex that heel. Can you release the chair? How high can you get it comfortable? Or does it need to be tippy toe on the floor? Just notice what you notice here. And release. So you notice, okay, one hip maybe felt more spicy than the other. Was one leg closer to the floor? Were you more swaying side to side, forward, that kind of thing? So just notice what you notice, right? There's no right or wrong answer there. So this next one is Monk Carries the Flag. And I'm going to show the seated version first because I know some folks are doing the seated versions. So from here, the hand closest to the hip, we're going to take a hand across. It's up high. So you're to the outside. Your belly button's tight. You're away from the back of the chair. You're not slumping into the chair unless you just absolutely have to, okay? You lift that leg, hold it in the air, and release. Then you switch, lift that leg, and release. So what you're trying to notice here is what's going on with that hip complex. Are you able to lift it? Do you notice some kind of wobbling going on? Now for the standing version, this might be interesting. Or not, okay? I'm making my things wider here. So we have our feet at angles. This is called the beginning stance or the eagle stance in Tai Chi. Have a soft bend in the knee, so we're kind of rooted down here, okay? Then I'm going to hang on to the chair because I'm wiggly on this one. I'm going to step my foot out to the side, heel, ball toe, bend, and then I'm going to slide the other one next to it. Bend both knees, okay? Then I'm going to take the outside arm, outside leg. The hand goes on top, the other one on top. And then I'm going to come up on the ball of my foot and lift my leg. And notice, maybe I hang onto the chair. Notice what you notice, okay? From here, take the outside leg, step it across, slide the other one across, bend both knees, root down. Outside arm comes up, other one comes out to the side. Is that correct? Yes, okay. And then lift that leg, get the hand close to the floor. Take that leg that's in the air, step it out to the side, slide over. Both my knees are bent. Slide it, both knees bent, okay. Hand across, hand beside the hip. That's close to the chair in case I need it. And then lift that outside leg up. Again, notice what you notice. Whoa, that's wiggly. Step it out to the side. Last one, I promise. And again, bend both knees. Okay, hand by the chair, hand above. There's your Monk Carries the Flag. Lift that outside leg up. Point that toe or flex that heel. Actually, let's point the toe down. Sorry about that. And notice what you notice. I'm doing the willow tree here, okay? and release. Beautiful. Okay, let's come down to our chair. I'm grabbing my yoga block, my yoga strap, coming to the center of the room so y'all can see what's going on. And I gotta move this chair out of the way. Very good. Okay, so I'm looking in the mirror too, what's going on here. If I get my pants here. Very good, very nice. Okay, let's do our 6 essential spinal movements first. And I have to scoot my chair back just a little bit more because I can't see my feet in the video. Okay, so breathe in, circle sweep arms up, and then exhale, float the arms out. We're kind of gathering our energy from what we just did there. And again, thinking about those balance challenges, inhaling up, exhale. This time, bring the arms in a letter W formation, so you're squeezing the upper back musculature. Maybe heel toe your feet a little wide. So we're going to do the unsupported twist. So what I mean by that is you don't take a hand the opposite way and crank into the twist. We use our own thoracic spine from that collarbone down to the pubic bone to do all the work as best we can. So squeeze the upper back musculature. Breathe in, belly big, belly button tight. Chin line with your chest, turn towards one side. Try not to have the knees drop in towards one another. Stay here, re-squeeze the shoulders, breathe in. Exhale, back to heart center. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, turn to the other side. Staying here, re-squeeze the shoulders, breathe in. And exhale, back to the center. Beautiful. All right, kind of wiggle those shoulders up and down. Again, another method for lymphatic flow. Going at your own perfect pace here. Beautiful. Let's inhale, circle sweep arms up. Take one hand back behind you, reach up, nice and tall, feet firm into the floor, reach up and over. This is your side lateral movement in the upper part of the body. Bring it back on up, breathe in. Exhale, float it down. Let's do that again. Breathe in, circle sweep arms up. Now, one hand in the air. As you exhale, sneak the other one back behind you. And again, inhale, reach. Exhale, lean that side body over. Keep both buns on the chair, though. Inhale, back on up. Exhale, float it down. We kind of did a cat-cow before when we did the interlaced fingers, but let's just go ahead and do an official cat-cow. Hands on the legs and curve your spine to the back of the room. Now, my eyes are looking straight forward. I'm not dropping that chin towards my chest. That's too much for the cervical spine for back challenges. And then slowly come back up to a tall seated posture. That might be spicy. Just go slower, okay? And then hands on the legs, bend the elbows out to the side, hinge forward for that cow. Again, I'm not dropping the chin towards the chest or chin towards the sky. I'm just trying to keep the top of the ears aligned with the top of the shoulders. Breathe in. Contract the belly button, come back to nice neutral spine, tall seated mountain posture. And again, stay here, breathe in, and let's curve to the back of the room, that good old cat back. Ooh, kind of feel the muscles peeling away from the spine a little bit. Maybe you feel that. Stay here, breathe in. And as you exhale, contract that belly button and then come roll out of that pelvic tilt. That's nice for back challenges, but sometimes it's spicy. Stay here, breathe in. Exhale, hinge forward for that cow. Beautiful. Stay here, breathing in. Belly soft. Exhale, contract that belly, come back to that tall seated mountain. Beautiful. Grab your yoga strap. And again, for newcomers, usually there's like a little buckle on your strap, but if there isn't, you're going to take your strap and basically do a shoelace tie, okay? So where you have bows and all that, so you come out of that. Otherwise, if you're able to do a loop, so yes, this class does require gear or encourages gear to get the most effectiveness out of this this class, this peculiar, unique class. So I make sure the buckle is not on my skin, by the way, and I've got at least 2 fist distances apart in between the legs. And you know what? Maybe I'm gonna choke up on that just a little bit. Like I just did about, I don't know, an inch or so. So I've got kind of my legs aligned with the outside of my hips or my muscle hips. I guess you call it. Press your feet firm into the floor, so you're going to feel some activation of the various places in your body. Maybe your behind, your side hips, the inside, the outside of the legs, the calves, the feet. Maybe really kind of spicy in that kind of the bottom of the pelvis that's sitting here on the chair. So we're strengthening the hip complex, which will help us with the ability of having less falls. So often what happens to folks that are falling is they don't have that behind muscle anymore, or they're having to, what's the thing? Having to really hold on to the stair rail as they're lifting themselves up and down stairs. Now, yes, there's safety, but maybe are you using your upper body strength? Are you still pressing into the floor as I lecture you? Oh, so they're using their upper body strength, right? And so we're trying to build that strength back to where we don't have, where we can keep our independence, okay? Now, we're going to press down. Now, think about, there's a wrinkle on the floor. We hate wrinkles. We're pressing down and away to smooth out that wrinkle. So you should feel more going on. Yes, more. Yeah? Breathe. In and out. If you're feeling spicy, listen to the breath going in and out through your nose. Anytime you have a spicy yoga posture, Pilates posture, breathe. Redirection of the senses. Exhale. And relax everything. Let everything soften. It should feel nice after having that contraction energy. This is also bone building, by the way, because we hold the postures at least 30 seconds. When we do that, muscles stimulate, contracted muscles stimulate bone growth. So yay, we're also doing bone building in this class. Let's do a variation of that now. So we're going to take one of our feet, our favorite one. Maybe it's the right, maybe it's the left. You're going to heel toe it in, and you're going to have kind of like the bottom of the foot kissing up against the other foot, okay? So it's kind of at an angle here. So yes, we kind of work angles. This is a variation of clam pose, which is traditionally done lying on your side on the floor on an elevated surface, and again, strengthening the hip complex. So we're going to push into the leg that didn't do any movements. Push into that leg, maybe your hand on that leg to remind to be pushing, yeah? And then this leg that's kind of at an angle, we're pushing towards the floor. Now, if you've got a TheraBand, it's going to have a little bit more give. If you have a TheraBand, what I invite you to do is pulse out, in and out, as long as we're holding this posture. So that's a little benefit of the TheraBand. You can kind of work a range of motion. Here, we're just working on strengthening the muscular contracture. Now, you can add on to this. If you don't have the strap today, you're holding this one firm, and you can take this other leg. You can use your own body strength. You can either push into the hand to the outside, or keep the leg from moving towards the floor as you push the inner side of the leg. So you kind of choose here. This is if you don't have the gear. If you want to add on to what we're doing, you can push it away, push down, push away. Again, don't forget to breathe. Sometimes we go like, hold the breath, right? Woo! And release. Yay! That part's over, but you know what? Bring it in. Let's kind of do toes up and down, and then do heels up and down. You know what? Do toes up and down again. I'm doing the hands too. I don't know what that is. All right, so reposition your feet. And you know, my booty scooted forward when I did that, so I'm looking in the mirror. Can you still see my feet? I think you can. Press down, although maybe my name's in the way. And then, are you pressing down? Okay, good. Now, let's add on to that. Take your hands and press them away. Again, you're trying to smooth out that wrinkle. Here we go, smoothing out the wrinkle. So this is homework assignment number 1. Variations of the clamshell, okay? So this is straight on, you know, legs aren't doing anything. Well, they are, but they're straight clamshell. And then we do leg out to the angle clamshell. If you have a TheraBand, you're pulsing. If you don't, you're really enjoying being vigorous in the posture. And release, yay. We're going to take the other foot. Now, you got to remember which one that is. Heel, toe it in. So I'm on the side of the foot. We can also get to stimulate the side of the foot, okay? So that's kind of cool. So we're pressing down on the leg that's into the floor. It's not doing anything special except staying safe. Well, that's special though, isn't it? Yeah. And this leg, this knee that's out to the side in the buckle in the TheraBand, you're pressing away, Okay, now maybe you're adding on to this. You're pressing down on that hand on the stable leg or the static leg. I'm not sure what we call this one. The straight leg. There you go. And then maybe press to the inner thigh or the here on the out. Whatever's comfortable, press it away. Woo! Oh my goodness, oh my soul. There it is right there. Woo! Don't forget to breathe. I'm trying to sit up tall too. I'm hinged forward a little bit. Oh my, can you feel it? I think you can. I'm breathing. I'm sweating too. I don't know what that is. Well, it's hot here in Texas. Even though it's only 85. Oh my gosh. It's all that rain, right? And release. Yay, releasing's the best. Come out of that posture. Now, you know, you got your buckle on, all that kind of stuff. Let's take it off. You're thinking, oh my gosh. You can also do a big toe hold, but today we're not doing that. But again, if you're coming regularly to this class, try to have your buckle ready. If you don't have a buckle, you're doing shoelace tie, whether you're using the TheraBand or the strap, this might be worth getting a buckle strap, okay? All right. Homework number 1, clamshell and those little variations. Grab your yoga block. This is a new thing we've been doing. I don't know if y'all are enjoying this or not. I am. So you're squeezing that block or a ball, whatever you have, or maybe 2 fists. Well, you can't do this one with 2 fists because there's some little stuff going on here. You're going to heel toe your feet and oof, you should feel like, wow, okay, there's some stuff going on here. There's some muscular contraction happening. So squeeze that block. And, you know, you've got some block coming up here a little bit. There's a little, I don't know what you call that, but there's a little bit of block up above the top of the legs. And you're squeezing and you're heel-toed your feet in, okay, so you're getting all this hip musculature contracted. Then you're going to take your hands and play the drums. So the objective is don't let that block go down, okay? So here we go. Squeeze. Ooh. Squeeze the block. Don't let it move. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Maybe do the sides. Nope, don't do the sides. Do the tops. And release. Oh yeah, there we go. Block is put away. Next we're going to do seated warrior 1, or it's also a variation of crescent lunge. You've got those arms on the chairs. You're going to kind of go at an angle here. Maybe next time you can get a chair that doesn't have arms. Maybe, maybe not. Whatever you have, right? So I'm going to turn sideways. You can also do this posture with your bun hanging off and your leg back behind you. But you know, you really can't see what I'm doing when I show that. So I'm showing it sideways. So there's 3 ways to do the same pose. So I try to have my knees at an angle here. And again, you can see my posture is my ear over my shoulder, shoulder over my hip. Or am I hinged forward or am I slumpied? Tall posture. Even though I have scoliosis, I have a 40-degree shift in my spine, scoliosis. I'm still kind of tall in the body that I have. And that's okay. I'm going to take my bun off the chair a little bit and bring this leg in front of the chair. So, you know, there's a little manipulation that goes on here. I'm kind of hinged forward when I get into the pose, and then I kind of straighten up, and I go, ooh, now I'm feeling it. This leg that's forward, it's a nice angle. Maybe you have to have a foot on a yoga block to get that 90-degree angle. Depends on the height of your chair and your height of you, yeah? And this feels weird on my behind, so I got to move it a little bit more. Now, I'm on my curly toes. This right here also is stimulating that range of motion in that toe, yeah? So if you have stiff toes, you're really going to feel this, right? Plantar fasciitis, this might be a challenge. So be sweet, be kind. So we're pressing vigorously into the forward heel, foot, toes, all that. Press into those curly toes. And then from here, squeeze both buns or squeeze only the bun that's off the chair. Hang on to the chair with the other hand if you need to. I do. And we're going to take that side behind, squeeze it, and shift it forward a little bit. Woo! Now, let's add the back bend to it. Whatever leg you step back, same side arm goes up. Maybe the other arm goes up. Maybe it doesn't. And I'm shaking in this one. Breathe. Press into that forward foot. Don't forget that. Press into those back toes. Squeeze that bun. Shift that bun forward just a little bit. And release. Take that back foot. next to the other foot, yay, and then we're going to pivot over to the other side. Oh my. You didn't know what to expect when you did this class, did you? No. Take the other leg, bun off the chair, bring it back. Sometimes those hips are grabby, so you got to go slow. Maybe you need to pat that hip. Mine kind of grabbed me just then, okay? Now, again, I'm being super tall, my posture. I'm feeling my lungs open up when I do this. There's that back bend going on here. Now, don't be lazy with the feet. Press into that forward foot, hang onto the chair, press into those back toes, squeeze both buns, but if you can, squeeze the bun that's off the chair, take that hip musculature if you want to, always it. Shift it forward, woo! Get into the spice, arm up, breathe, 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 breathe. Pressing into that forward foot, that back toe, squeeze the bun, shift the bun forward, arm up, breathe, breathe, breathe. Variation of Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. That's the big fancy Sanskrit name for it. That's probably the only one I have memorized. It just sounds really cool. And then you say it and you're thinking, oh, I'm impressing people. No, I'm not. Really? Okay. And I'm trying to talk to y'all so you stay in the pose. Okay? All right. And release. Yay. Take that back leg. Woo. Bring it forward. Come to looking at the camera. Clap those hands. Ooh, do that again. Oh, that was even better. Get some heat going on here. Whew. We already did this for the knees, but let's do it again. It might need it right now. Oh, that feels nice. A little bit of heat on those knees. Reverse. We did start a little late because the session kicked me out. And so I had to sign back in. Sorry about that, folks. Let's go ahead and tap. And you know what? Rub the shins if you're allowed to hinge forward, okay? Get the ankles, get the back of the calves, the side legs, the inside, the tops, the underside, the other side. And again, clap the hands. Very nice. Let's work the shoulders a little bit because we're going to do a little bit of shoulder work on this next one. So we're going to take the hand to the armpit, again, pat it, bring it down the side body, the hip, the center, bring it up the center, and then go over to that shoulder, really kind of pound it out here. Palm up, bring it down the inside, turn the hand, palm down, go to the outside of the arm, bring it up the outside of the arm, back to that shoulder, and then slough it off. We got to do the other side. Clap the hands. A little bit of heat, a little bit of heat. Let's go to the armpit on this side. Arm up. Here we go. Down the side body. Be sweet. Be kind. Bring it down. Go up the center. I got my pacemaker there. I got to be careful there. And then here at the shoulder, kind of whack that shoulder a little bit. Then it's palm up. Softly come down the inside. Now it's not vigorous, okay? Turn the hand. Go to the outside of the arm. Here we go. Up the arm. Get that shoulder. Stay there for a little bit. Folks usually love this part, right? And then sweep off that excess energy. Very good. Very nice. Now we're going to do the standing portion of class. If you want to opt out and just kind of modify it to your own, please do so. I don't usually do any cueing for chair versions because there's not really chair versions for this next section. Let me move my equipment out of the way. We won't need that again until next Friday or next Wednesday. Let's see. Next Wednesday is, I think it's back yoga, isn't it? Because we just finished doing Chair Tai Chi. So I turn my chair sideways so you can see what's going on here in this little white screen here. And basically we're going to stand behind the chair. This is our strengthening, balancing, sciatica soothing sequences. That's hard to say. We're going to step a foot back, and we're landing on that toe, middle heel, and I'm going to take the foot that's closest to the chair, kind of hop it towards it. Now, sometimes what happens here, people have feet like almost one behind the other. What I invite you to do is that forward foot, kind of take it out a little wider to make it more comfortable in your body, okay? So that's just kind of a little thing there. So we're laying on that back heel. What we're going to do is bend the knee closest to the chair and really kind of get into that calf, some of the behind, and we're kind of squaring the hips as best we can. Well, I'm kind of wiggling here to the back of the chair. Now, whatever leg you step back, same side arm goes up. So again, this is a variation of Warrior One, a variation of Crescent Lunge. And you can let go maybe. Notice your balance or your wiggliness. Mine's a wiggliness. Bring the arm down, take that back foot, step it forward, and we're switching. So bring the other leg back, just a nice little distance. Other foot, get it kind of close to the chair. Squaring those hips with the back of the chair. Maybe you heel toe the front foot to be wider, okay? To have a better balance business. Bend the knee towards the back of the chair, press into that back heel. Whatever leg you step back, same side arm goes up. Maybe the other one goes up. You're noticing, are you going side to side? Are you wiggling forward and backwards? Is there stability going on or instability? Yeah? Okay, take that back foot, step it forward. So we do the same sequence every time. We're going to step it way back. I stepped it back to regular distance, then I step it back some more. Come down on that heel, bend the knee closest to the back of the chair. You're going to feel it a little deeper. Now, sometimes I lean forward. Notice if you're doing that, try it again, shoulder over the hip. So again, you're really getting into that hip complex, okay? Whew. Arm goes up. Maybe the other one does. Maybe it doesn't. Huh. And I'm kind of like leaning towards the wall here. That's why I like the wall. I can have my fingers on the wall. I'm not going to fall. Now going the other way, I don't know. I haven't fallen the other way. Arm down, lift that back heel, step it forward. Same thing on the other side. Step it back. It's a regular distance. Get that forward foot kind of placed. And then step it back some more. Come down on that heel. All right, shoulders over the hips. Bend the knee towards the back of the chair. Woo! Feel what you feel. Same side arm goes up. Whatever leg you step back. Maybe the other arm, maybe not. In my case, it's kind of wiggly, so I'm just keeping it here, hovering. And I'm noticing the dance of the foot. Are you doing a dance of the foot? Maybe so. Hands come down. Take that back leg. Step it forward. Now we're going to add onto this with the sciatic soothing, the nerve flossing element next. Go back to the first position. So you're here at the back of the chair, step it back that regular distance, and again, get the other foot kind of close. Now you're going to take that back heel, lift it, and then you're going to take your hand on your behind, your tailbone's kind of flared out, and you're going to tuck your tailbone under. So again, on the ball of the foot. Getting that nice range of motion in that toe, by the way. Same side arm goes up. Does the other one go up? Can you balance on the bendy toe and the flat foot and the tucked in behind? Notice what you notice. There might be some shaking going on here. Release the arm, release the foot, step it to the back of the chair. Let's do the other one. Step it back its normal distance. Get the other foot positioned, okay? Take that back heel, lift it up. Now take your behind, tuck it, roll it under, okay? Same side arm of the heel lifted, arm raises up. You might be noticing lots of shaking. I am on this side. Can the other arm go up? I don't feel very confident on this side. So I already know my left side is weaker than my right. So that's because of my scoliosis, and one side really guards and pulls to one side and the other one's weaker. So I have to work the weaker side a little bit more than I do the strong side. Arm comes down, heel comes down, step to the back of the chair. Now, let's do our leg swinging, shall we? We shall. So from here, let me see if you can see it yeah, you can. Okay. I'll just move this one a little bit out of the way too. Okay? Okay, and I've got the camera set up a little strange today. I don't have as much space. Well, I'm going to just do what I can do. Yeah? So we're going to do the leg sequence now. So this is targeting the psoas, iliopsoas muscles, those kind of hot side muscles that connect the lower body to the upper body. All right, hands on the chair. And basically what we're doing is bringing the leg out to the side and in. Just a soft foot. You don't have to flex the heel. You don't have to intentionally flex that heel. So here we go. Out to the side. Whoops. And in. Again, yours may feel different. Maybe you want to have your hands wider on the back of the chair as opposed to like hanging onto the center. Mine's kind of wiggly when I do that center. Let's do 2 more. 2 and 1. Woo! Bend the knees, walk in place a little bit, kind of release that stored up, built up energy or tension. And then let's do that again. Other side though, okay? So kind of get set here and get started. You may notice one side raises higher more easily than the other, or you may be feeling stuff. Stuff is the operational word. Let's do 3 more. Keep breathing. Very good. And kind of walk it out. This next one is intentional foot placement. So we're going to have the toes turned in and the heel out. We're bringing it out and in. Out and in. Okay. So again, standing away far enough, you're not going to hit the chair. Okay. So again, these are not sitting down on the chair postures. These are kind of hard to do sitting on the chair. So bring it out and across. Sorry. Out and across. You're keeping the foot placement the same. Heel flex, toe in. Lubricating that hip joint a little bit. Anything painful, do less, don't do it. 1 more. And release. Feel that squeeze of that psoas muscle. Let's release it by a little bit of walking here. Again, turning heel out, toe facing in. Feel that squeeze of those side hip muscular muscles. Let's do the other side. Here we go. Heel out, toe in. Bring it out. Woo! And across. Now, if you've had hip replacements and you've been told do not cross the midline, this probably is not your posture. Maybe you just bring it to the ankle instead. Okay? You're still going to get some good range of motion going on here. 2 more. 2 and 1. Woo! Walk. All right, this one's a little bit more complicated. So we're going to be bringing the leg out, toe out, and once you cross the center, it's toe in. Toe out, toe in. So you're kind of getting in that ball, hip, socket, all that good stuff. All right, so it's going to be toe out and then toe in. It's a little bit more concentration here. Heart rate might be going up a little bit. Mine definitely is. 2 more. 2, don't know how to count, and 1. Walk in between. Let me see what our heart rate is. I'm just kind of curious here. We'll see in a second here. Usually when you're using those big muscle groups, man, you get a good cardiac effect. All right, after this next one, I'll see what the heart rate is. So again, it's going to be toe out, toe in, toe out, toe in. So, toe out, woo, toe in, hang on wide, toe out, toe in. Keep breathing. It's 111. Wow. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Walk it out. Okay, I'm going to move my chair over to the side now. Get the other one in view. Next is a 3-point empty step. It's a Chair Tai Chi movement that I was taught in my Chair Tai Chi training. That's so hard to say because we use the chair for support if we need it. Oh, it's a 125 now. Okay, I knew it was higher. So in this, we're going to kind of turn towards the angle of that chair. And again, I got to hike up my pants to do this. Bend the knees, take that tailbone, roll it under. All right. So first what you do, you have a straight leg, heel down, toe up. So it's not way out here to where you come out of your bent knee rooted leg. Okay. So here's first part, and you bring it back to the ankle. Then you bring it straight out. So you may want to look at it first. You're on the heel, toe up. So all the weight is on the rooted leg next to the chair. There's a little bit, but it's like barely anything. Bring it back to the ankle. And then point the toe back behind you. Woo, feel the squeeze of the booty. Back to the ankle. And then come up. So when we do this in Chair Tai Chi, or in our Tai Chi class that I teach, you do not come out of the pose. We do this like 3 times, and then we alternate. But we work up to it, okay? So we're working up to it. So here we go. Feet firm, tuck that tailbone under. You're rooted into the leg next to the chair. All right, here we go. Forward, heel down, toe up to the ankle. out to the side, to the ankle. You're not coming up. Point the toe back behind you to the ankle. Stay low. Let's do it again. Heel down, toe up, back to the ankle, out to the side, back to the ankle, with or without hand on the chair. Point the toe back behind you, back to the ankle, and come out of it. The leg closest to the chair, let's swing that leg to release the tension built up in that 3-point stepping drill. Feel that pressure building up, yeah? Again, these are our strength building movements. Balance challenges also. Yay. Okay, let's check the heart rate. 131. Who knew that 3-point stepping drill would kick up your heart rate? Well, I did. And I'm just telling you. Well, for me, okay? Bend the knees, feet on the floor, roll that tailbone under. We're doing the other side. Move over to the other side of the chair if you only have one chair. So again, other side. Heel forward, toe up, back to the ankle. Out, straight out to the side. Look at it first. You need to. Maybe adjust it a little bit. Whoa, hang on. Back to the ankle. Point it back behind you. Back to the ankle. Straighten the leg, walk a little bit. So the next one is 2 in a row, if you can. All right? There's apparently a seated version of this, but I have to review that to teach that because I don't remember it, basically. So basically, feet down, tuck that tailbone under, and here we go, belly button tight. Heel down, toe up, back to the ankle. Out to the side, back to the ankle. Point it back behind you, back to the ankle. This is homework number 2. Stay low. Heel down, toe up, back to the ankle, out to the side, back to the ankle, back behind you, back to the ankle, and release. Take that inside leg and swing out that built up energy. Beautiful. We already did bone density, the shaking gong. We already moved the limp earlier. Next, we're going to do the walking. So turn your backside of the chairs towards one another, or backside of the chair next to the wall. Or go to the kitchen. Go wherever you have a long hallway. And you know what? I need to bring that a little bit closer to the chair. So the objective is to work that entire range of motion of the foot complex. So I have my fingertips on the chair. I'm going to do heel, ball the foot, toe. So you're coming up on that toe, that back foot also. Heel, ball, toe. So freeze here for a second. Flat foot on the floor, back foot. You've got your toe being exercised, your toes being exercised. And then heel, ball, toe. All right, we're going to take come back on the back foot flat. We're going to take the forward foot, bring it back behind us, toe, ball, heel, toe, ball, heel. And we're trying not to look down at our feet. We're trying to have our head be parallel, chin parallel to the floor, and bring that foot back. We're going to switch feet. So I'm going to bring the other foot forward and the other foot back. Take that back foot, swing it forward, heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe. And then take the forward foot, toe, ball, heel, toe, ball, heel, toe, ball, heel. So you work your brain a little different, that front cortex when you walk backwards. Switch the feet. You also use different muscles when you're walking backwards as opposed to forwards. Heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe. And take that forward foot, toe, ball, heel, toe, ball, heel, toe, ball, heel. That was homework number 3. Okay. Number 1 was clamshells. Number 2 was 3-point step. Number 3 is walking forwards and backwards. And here's your next one, your sit to stand. So these are all documented methods for increasing lower body strength in folks that have potential of falls, okay? If you are on wood, I would expect you to put a chair up against the wall and a chair in front of you. But I'm on carpet here, so I'm not going to be moving. So notice how you notice when you come down to the chair. Some of y'all are already in the chair. So the test for sit to stand is, your feet a little wide, you're away from the back of the chair. You're going to squeeze your buns, you're going to squeeze your core, hands on the shoulders, and come up. Ooh, it was easier today. And come down. I know my chair is going to be there. I hope it's going to be there. You're welcome. So the key is, how many can you do in 30 seconds? Y'all keep doing that. Let me show the other variation that you kind of do with safety in mind. My chair up against the wall, my other chair in front of me. And again, if you can't do hands on the shoulders, you do hands on top of the chair to start to build the strength. And that's okay. You got to start somewhere, right? Keep your independence. This is going to kick up your heart rate, in case you didn't know. Woo! 85 more. No, actually not 85 more. Joe's going, no, don't do that to me. 2 more, and I'm going to come and join you in the front of the room. All right, notice your heart rate. It might be a little elevated. Let's see, 119. So we're going to do that non-sleep, deep rest meditation. If you need to bug out because of the time, that's okay. You can come and watch the video later if you want just that, and kind of settle into your chair, relaxing, releasing. Just notice what you notice. Be noticing that heart rate a little elevated at this point. Oh yeah. Let's see here, 119. Let's do the elongated breath before we get into the meditation practice. That will help us lower our blood pressure, help us lower our heart rate. I kind of like this. Be in the doctor's office, I'm going, okay, they're yakking at me. Be quiet, and I want to then take my blood pressure. So I'm going to come away from the back of the chair when I do this one because I'm teaching it. You all just get comfortable, okay? So from here, I'm going to clap 4 times as you breathe in. We're going to pause and then slowly exhale to the count of 5. So again, we're doing the elongated breath, breathing method to lower blood pressure, to lower the heart rate. So let's do this. Breathe in, belly, chest big. Pausing, slowly, slowly exhale to count of 5. Again, breathe in, expand that belly. Slowly breathe out. Again, inhaling, listen to the sound of the breath. Listen to the sound of the exhale breath. Again, breathe in, slow, slow, slow. And slowly, slowly exhale if you can. Place your hands on your belly and below your belly button. And again, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, pausing, and slowly exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, big old breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then slowly, slowly exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just your normal breath here as you get a little bit more comfortable in the place that you are at. Maybe you're on the couch. Maybe you're in that good comfy chair. Maybe you're just kind of relaxing in the chair that you've been practicing in. Feet maybe a little wide or maybe crossing at the ankles. All I do is invite you to get comfortable. All you have to do is to listen to my voice. Now maybe you want to gaze your eyes towards the floor, or if it's available, close the eyes. I know some folks don't like to close the eyes. That's okay. Do what you can do, yeah? Just listen to my voice. Maybe listen to other sounds that are going on in the room. Maybe you hear somebody down the hallway. You hear the heater or the air conditioner coming on. Maybe you hear a cat strolling around. You know, whatever it is. Maybe you hear your own breath. And I invite you to get comfortable. I invite you to notice both your feet. The bottoms of the feet, maybe the back of the heels resting on the surface that's supporting you. Just notice that sensation of support with the feet. Let's move it and bring all the attention, all the awareness to the big toes. Now shift that attention to the pinky toes. So again, in your mind, in your imagination, you're going from the big toes to the pinky toes. This helps lessen our stress, our monkey mind, our repetitive thoughts to move from one place to the next. Let's move on. Notice the arches of both the feet. Again, those arches. Now shift your attention to the heels of both the feet. Both the feet at the same time. Very good. Let's move our attention up the legs now into the front of the legs, the shin, And then the back of the legs, the calves, both legs at the same time. Notice the shins and the calves. Just notice what you notice. Nice. Now, let's shift all of our attention to our knee joints. Notice the front of the knees, both knees, and the back of the knees. Good. Now, let's shift our attention to the upper legs. Noticing the quadriceps, the thighs, the front of the legs, and the hamstrings, the back of the legs, where we're sitting on the surface that's supporting us. Again, noticing both the front and the back side of the legs. Good. You are now going to shift your attention to the hip joints. Notice those hip joints. Notice right side versus the left side. Notice if they're the same, if they're different. Just notice what you notice. Good. Notice the pelvic floor, and then shift that into the low belly and the low back. Notice both the low belly and the low back at the same time. Now let's shift that to the area of the navel center, kind of the belly button area, in the same place in the back side of the body, the top of the behind. Notice both the front and the back side of the middle section of our body. Good. Let's move upwards to the heart center. Here are our ribs. Notice the places in the back. Maybe it's at the bottom of the shoulder blades, in the back places of the body. Again, notice both the chest, heart center, the low portion of our shoulders, the mid-back. Beautiful. Let's shift our attention more to the back side, upper shoulders, and the front, the kind of the collarbone area. So notice both the collarbone and the shoulders, the front and the back at the same time, both sides. Good. Let's shift our attention now to the front of the upper arms, the biceps, and then the back of the arms, the triceps of both arms. Notice the front and the back of the upper arms. Now I invite you to notice the joints of the elbows, the elbow pit, and then the outside of the elbows, the back of the elbows of both arms at the same time. Now let's travel this to our forearms, both on top and the back of the forearms, both arms at the same time. Good. From here, shift your attention to the wrists, the back of the hands, the palms of the hands, both at the same time. Let's move and shift our attention to the thumbs, to both index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, and both pinky fingers. From those fingertips, let's shift our attention to the base of our throat and the back of our neck, both at the same time. Notice the jaw, the chin, the lower lip, the upper lip. Shifting attention to our forehead, and now to the crown of our head, the very top of our head. Now, as we breathe in, let's bring in that healing ray of sunshine. Let it travel all the way from the crown of our head, all the way down to the tips of our toes, saturating every cell in our body with healing ray of light. Now, if you would, take your hands, bring them out to the side of the body, point the fingers down towards the floor. As you exhale, let all the what no longer serves you exit through the fingertips. All that energy that might be a little cloudy, a little dark, let it exit through the toes, the bottoms of the feet, through the fingers. You might actually feel a sensation of that happening. Very good. And then let's bring ourselves back into the now, back into the present. So if you were kind of like really comfortable in your chair, you could stay there if you like, or join me and come up to a nice tall seated place. Have the knees be a little bit wide, hands on the legs, and let's kind of lead with the shoulders to invite a little bit of movement back into the body. We're just doing a little bit of movement before we do our gratitude practice, before we end our chair yoga fall prevention class today. Your heart rate should have lowered by now. If it was in the mid-20s, maybe it's in the low 100s or below that, if you have a device that kind of tracks that. And let's reverse. Mine's down to 99 now. It was 125. So it has gone down in this short period of time. And you know what? We're going to do a cat-cow. So come back up to the center, curve to the back of the chair. Ooh, feel your back. Come up to that neutral spine, that tall seated mountain posture, and hinge forward. That little forward fold, that's supposed to be very calming for the nervous system when you fold one part of the body over the other part. And then come back to tall seated posture. Let's do our gratitude practice now. So you can have hands stacked on the heart, hands together, hands resting on your lap. But you know what? Just for showing up today, let's bow our head towards our heart in gratitude of just showing up. And again, think about one thing that you might be grateful for today, or maybe an idea of gratitude, yeah? Grab it, clasp it. Let's place it into our heart center just for a moment here. Let's pause for a moment as we think about this. Very nice. And then let's bring our eyes open if you wish, or our chin parallel to the floor, gazing forward with either eyes opened or closed as we say our traditional sayings to end the class. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of chair yoga for fall prevention. Let me come up to the front of the room and stop the recording. Let's see if I can get that done.